Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2018 Netflix original sequel film, pseudo-sequel film, The Cloverfield Paradox, hour 42 minutes long. So this takes place in 2028, April 2028. The Cloverfield station is in space. It's trying to run this Shepard particle, which is a particle accelerator, to help bring an infinite amount of power to Earth, who is using up all the resources. So the question is, 2008 we had Cloverfield. 2016 we had 10 Cloverfield Lane. And, 2014, 2015? One of those years. And 2018 we had Cloverfield Paradox. And then we're getting a fourth one at the end of 25, I believe. October 2025. So the question is, how does this all come together? I completely forgot that there was a massive marketing campaign for the first film. Just as online promos and stuff. Like we get fake news things and like interactive games and things like that. The Tagakoto, I can't pronounce the name. TAG is the first part. Company, is Japanese drilling company, awakened something on the seafloor of their drilling, and the ingredients used for the slusho drink that they make, also parent company wise, is from seabed nectar, and that's what they were drilling for, or something to that extent, and the Cloverfield monster was awakened from that. So he's not technically an alien, but he could be from another dimension that was sent to that area, and the drilling actually awakened him as this newborn who's then exploring Manhattan. And then at the end of this film, we get a gigantic version of that, an adult version of that Cloverfield monster, because it's now passing the clouds. So the Cloverfield monster barely passed all the skyscrapers in Manhattan, and then now this one is surpassing clouds. So there's a big height difference. So in this particular film, this particular crew of the Cloverfield station gets the particle to work after, 3 years of failure. And so then what happens when they're inadvertently sent to another dimension? What happens when those dimensions start to splice? My memory of this film is that there was a guy on a wall, and I was partially correct. One character gets sucked into a wall, paradox-wise, and dimension to dimension-wise, and his arm gets cut off, but his arm is still fully functional, which is a funny moment. But then there's a female, they're not astronauts, engineers, I don't remember what they call themselves, trapped in an actual wall, stuck in wires and stuff from the other dimension. So that's where she got stuck. And then she knows this Ava character from her world, right? So it's a matter of mixing of dimensions. So because the particle accelerator had worked, and Howard Stambler's brother, Mark Stambler, is being interviewed in this or something to that extent. Well, it's inferred that he's his brother, referencing that if the particle works, it could rip a hole in the space-time continuum, and it could release any type of monster that we haven't even seen yet, stuff like that. How does this work? So the theory then is that because when you rip a hole in the space-time, time doesn't matter anymore. It's just now a matter of what's going to be plopped into what time period. So is it possible that the Cloverfield monster from 2008 only happened to be sent there dimension to dimension wise because of the events in 2028 during the particle accelerator experiment's success and or failure, depending on how you want to look at that. So that's what's neat about the paradox, is that all this information is presented to you could seem completely false, but here it is, and it happened, and this is it. Two different dimensions have collided and are splicing now. How do you unseparate it? Well, you got to make the particle work again. You have to get the Shepard particle to go back on again. The particle accelerator has to be turned on again. And therefore, universes can be split again. So it's a matter of what timeline is where and what popped out when. So then the question is, what's up with the aliens then in the second film? At the end of 10 Cloverfield Lane, it's still a similar type of monster roar and setup, things of that nature. Is the worm dog creature in the second film related to the worms that they had as experiments in the third film? There's a lot of what ifs to this franchise that have not been explained. A lot of it's just theory. So it's just a matter of, when are we going to get answers? Will we ever get answers? And why is it taking so long to get answers? I do like that J.J. Abrams' Bad Project, Bad Robot banner keeps a Kelvin universe together, so that's mentioned a few times. I like that the Slusho logo is using a lot of his other projects. I was reading up on it. It's an alias, and it's in Fringe, the different Cloverfield projects. I want to get a Slusho shirt now that we're talking about it. Kelvin's also mentioned, Kelvin Timeline is mentioned specifically in the Star Trek franchise of J.J. Abrams. So it's pretty neat. Seeing having all these different multiverse things come together in one Kelvin universe, if you will. But the question for Cloverfield is, are the three films in the same universe? Are they in the same... They're the same multiverse, but is it a matter of, is it the same Earth? Is Earth one, or is it three different Earths in three different films that all have three different dimensions, are affected from the same event of the particle accelerator blipping? It's possible. A lot of what ifs. You know, we as a country here in the States swear, meme-wise and internet-wise, that our timeline split May 24th, 2016, when Harambe was killed. That was the moment that all hell broke loose, and that was a specific defining moment of this. We're on the wrong timeline. We're on the wrong timeline. And that's when these kinds of conversations like started to happen, internet-wise, meme-wise. What was the catalyst moment when it made you realize you're on the wrong timeline? That something happened, and now that you have memories of another timeline flipping in. How does this work, right? What happens next? It's interesting. Will there be another split? Who knows? So paradoxes are interesting, right? Netflix's Dark is a great example of paradoxes. It's got to end somehow. What happens next, right? In regards to life, what happens next in regards to the Cloverfield films? I'm very excited to see how this fourth film is going to come about, whenever it does come out. Are we going to get more monster? Are we going to get more toys from the monster? I'm a big fan of my plastic replica figures. They give me joy. Plastic joy. It's the best way to say it. Cloverfield Paradox, very interesting surprise release. Also, there was no marketing, barely any marketing for this. It was released directly after Super Bowl back in 2018. They dropped a trailer, I think it was during halftime or something like that. It was like premiering after the Super Bowl. And we were all like, what? Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Wild. Cloverfield Paradox. On to the next review. Mahalo.